guys, it's Maggie and I am back today with another video. I am starting to do a little bit more of an intro, a little more explanation in my life because my videos, I don't know why some are getting picked up by YouTube and they're recommending them. So if you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Maggie. I'm a 27-year-old nurse with Crohn's disease and an ostomy bag. I live with my fiance. We are redoing a barn right there for our wedding that we're going to start a wedding venue business in, and I take everyone along on my life and my battles with IBD, Crohn's disease, having an ostomy, going through surgery, you know, what it looks like for Zach and I, but I also show you what I do outside of it. So before we get into the purpose of this video, which is going to be talking about granulomas and skin irritation and how to manage them, I apologize, the camera is shaking so much. I had a lot of coffee today. I wanted to show you something really cool in the barn that I am really excited for, and it's going to be for me. We've all decided it's not Zach's, it's mine. So this is our barn, if you have not seen it already. Upstairs is where we're doing receptions, and then downstairs is our like patio area, cocktail hour, and yeah, some stuff downstairs inside too. Right, so let me bring you in here. No, that's not a bottle of alcohol, it is hand sanitizer. Let me do wide angled so you guys can actually see. This is downstairs. The walls are framed, but they're not actually up. So we've got stairs going in here. This is kind of our hallway area. It's a utility closet in here. Ladies' bathroom in here. Men's bathroom here. Coming down the hallway. This is a closet for storage for like decor and stuff. Over here is the bridal suite, and then this large center area is where our caterers are gonna get ready. But the thing I wanted to show you is this room, which doesn't look like much right now, but this is the future office of Tretton Farmstead, or AKA my office. So I'm very excited. This is probably where I'm going to be doing filming of my videos in the future. So get ready for it. It's gonna be really awesome. I can't wait. Okay, that was the quick thing I wanted to show you. I'm getting a new office, so the one that we use in our house that appears in a lot of my videos, like the background where it's a window and like a ladder bookshelf, that's gonna be moving in here. So I'm excited, but let's get to the purpose of this video. Okay, so I have had trouble with granulomas, which is basically irritated stoma tissue, and it's right around my actual stoma. If you're not really sure what a stoma is or an ostomy bag is, it's essentially a piece of intestine that comes through the abdominal wall about an inch or so, and you wear a bag, and that collects whatever excrement that needs to come out of it. And so yeah, it essentially collects in a bag that it attaches to you with adhesive. There are colostomies and ileostomies. There are urostomies for urine. There are ones for mucus if you have a colon that is not attached to the small intestine. There are endless types of ostomies. Those are the major ones though. I have an ileostomy bag, so these tend to be a little bit harder to manage because the output is much looser and has basically enzymes that can break down the skin if the skin comes in contact with it. You'll see in a clip that's coming up that I have some pretty bad skin irritation. I've also got some moisture associated damage around the outer edges of my ostomy appliance, a little bit of fungal infection, and I also have granulomas. In the video, they do not look that at all. I have improved them greatly. They used to be pretty large and really painful, and it's essentially where your wafer is rubbing up against the stoma and causing irritation. So these little bumps grow. They look like, I don't even know how to describe them, either flesh or maybe they look like the stoma color, and they bleed a lot, especially if you hit them. They're very painful, and sometimes they require more care. So if you have what you think is a granuloma, definitely go to a WOCN or your surgeon. Let them know that it's happening. They may want to treat it with something called silver nitrate, but in some cases you can treat it at home with more, modest measures, if you will. And that's what I did, and it actually was successful. I'm very happy for it. So in the upcoming clips, I will show you how I manage those. All right, so before I jump in the shower to really get my skin clean, I'm gonna take off my bag. I have a very specific way of doing it so I don't irritate my skin further, because you will see when I take off my bag, I have a lot of irritated skin actually around the outer edges, partially fungal, partially I couldn't tell you. I think I just have very irritated skin because around my ostomy is not the only place that I have these issues. So I'm going to use this little baggie. It's an ostomy, I don't know what it's called. I'll put it here. And I tuck my bag into it, and to prevent my skin from breaking down from, adhesive peeling off of it, I use adhesive remover. So that's my first step to save my skin. All right, so you can see my skin is pretty beat up underneath. I think it might be partially an allergy, but it's also when my flange gets wet, it will absorb the fluid and hold it, and then it sits on my skin. So I'm having to change it like every 2 days to try and keep it. Plus my skin weeps quite a bit, so I'm going to show you how I do the crusting technique to try and keep it dry. And I'll also show you how I handle granulomas, because you might not see any granulomas right now. They're usually these kind of stoma colored bumps that appear around the edge, and it's because the wafer is too close and kind of rubs against the stoma. I had them really bad a couple of months ago, and they were so painful that I would actually cry during bag changes. But obviously I've healed them. I do have quite a bit of peristomal skin irritation as well, just like right around the actual stoma. So let me jump in the shower. I'm going to get my skin as clean as I can, get some of this old crusting off of it, and then I'll show you my routine. Oh my goodness, my skin looks so bad. Obviously you guys can see why I've been going crazy, but I'm going to use an adhesive remover wipe just to ensure I get any adhesive-y gunk that's left on my skin totally off. So I start around the edges first, and then I work towards the middle. Okay, now I am going to do stoma powder directly onto the red parts because a lot of them are weeping. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, there are spots here, so I might actually grab some nystatin powder. That is a prescription, and it's something you'll have to go to your doctor for, but it helps with fungal infections, and it looks like some of this is getting a little bit fungal, so we'll start with that. I always let the air go to the top of the bottle and use it to blow away any excess there. And if you're wondering, you might be seeing this mark here and this mark right here. This was from my recent surgery back in December. So they healed up really nice. I'm really happy. And there's that guy, he like still hurts and is itchy. That was where my JP was. And then that guy. I'm going to take one of these guys. This is a barrier wipe, and it's not my usual one. This one actually contains a little bit of alcohol, which I've been using to help dry the skin because I weep so much. And I blot it right over that powder very gently, trying not to pick up any of the powder. Oh my gosh, stings. Yeah, definitely alcohol, but it only stings for maybe like 30 seconds, so you just kind of have to hold out. While it's still wet, I'm going to come in with regular stoma powder on top, and I'm also going to do right around my stoma. I know, that was a lot. Okay, then I'm going to take my second barrier wipe, do the same thing. Okay, the next thing I come in with is Skin Tack, and this is something a friend recommended to me because I was having trouble around the outer edges getting things to stick. This skin, not only does it weep, but it peels constantly, which is really frustrating. I do think there might be a psoriasis component. Like I said, I have this issue not just here. It's really fun. So I'm going to blot this on top, and this is the last thing that I use around my stoma. This also has alcohol in it, so it burns. Oh Lord, yeah, it really burns. God. It doesn't last long, but holy cannoli, it hurts when I'm putting it on. Okay, so then I let this dry, and while it's drying, I'm going to cut my flange. When I did have large granuloma bumps, it was a little difficult because I actually had to cut out where they were. I made little notches where these guys were because the more that the flange or the edge where you've cut rubs against them, the bigger that they get, the more painful they are. I'm going to come up close. You can see that right there. There was one right there. Those were my two bad ones. They got close to the size of a pea. They were huge. If you find you're having these bumps, they bleed a lot, they're very painful, they kind of sting, go to a WOCN or go to your surgeon, let them know so they can check it out, make sure it's benign. They might have you manage it at home with some tips that I will tell you about. Or if they are bad enough and they're not resolving on their own, you can do something called silver nitrate. It's something that an advanced practice WOCN can do or a surgeon can do, where they essentially burn off these bumps. It wasn't until I started switching from paste to rings, it wasn't until I cut my flange differently to, not sit on top of the granuloma, but actually go around them, because they aren't part of your skin, they're part of the stoma. And it wasn't until I started using stoma powder directly on top of those granulomas to help dry them out that they, went down like amazingly in size. So I'm going to cut my flange. Luckily, I don't have to do the notches anymore because they're so small. They aren't touched. I'm going to cut off this little tabby. And then I'm going to cut my flange to my usual 1-inch size. You've probably seen me do this a million times. Okay, now I'm going to add a barrier ring around this. I know I'm going to get people telling me, just listen for 1 minute. This is cut from a large barrier ring, like one that would take up my whole stoma. Yes, I know that there are barrier rings that are much smaller and are made to go right around the stoma. I know that there are barrier strips where I could basically do what I'm about to do. I am just using product that I have. It's the same thing. And then next time I order, obviously I'm going to get barrier rings or the barrier strips. So this was just cut from the outer edge of one of those guys, and I'm going to wrap it around. I'm being very careful not to touch the sides that stick to me, but the edges. I'm going to have to touch it a little bit though. And I am going to wrap it around. If you have a Sorry, the AC just kicked on, so you're going to hear that. But if you have a granuloma, you're going to go around it. Make sure that your barrier ring isn't sitting on top of it. Okay. And that's, it ain't pretty, but it works for right now until I get the other ones. Now I'm going to press my flange on. Really focusing right around the stoma. If you have granulomas, pushing down is going to hurt. Just letting you know. Alright, and this is pretty much how I take care of severe skin irritation. The top is pretty much like the bottom, and I was able to heal that up. It just takes a while, especially with it this severe. And this is also how I helped heal my granulomas so that they were more manageable. All right, guys, so let me know your questions. Let me know your comments below in the comment section. And if you are new to my channel, I definitely recommend checking out some of my other videos about life with Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease, same thing, and life with an ostomy. When I get viewers that are outside of the Crohn's circle, I either scare the heck out of them and they think that I'm dying, or they think it's gross, and I get really rude comments, which is so funny because I'm pretty good at monitoring for nasty comments, and they're usually deleted within 10 minutes, so nobody even sees them, so don't waste your time. Oh, and you get blocked from the channel, so I do that. But yeah, let me know your questions, comments. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next. Bye.